people can't get homes, they can't get hospital beds. This has to come to an end.
Nationalism is not racism.
Who does Ireland belong to?
This government doesn't care for our own people, they care for the other people.
You need to look after the Irish people first.
Wouldn't you know it? There it is. There's a hammer and sickle flag. They don't have a lot of Irish flags.
The government here, like many Western governments, only listen to the NGOs.
Bring Ireland back to the way it is, man, because we're losing our culture, our history.
Ezra Levant here for Rebel News. Look at this, I'm in a sea of Irish flags. I'm in the heart of Dublin, Ireland, because this is a massive march. Organizers tell me there'll be up to 10,000 Irish who are marching against mass immigration. What's so interesting about this movement is how organic and populist it is. The entire political establishment are against these folks. They're for mass immigration. Same thing with the journalistic establishment. They disparage these people, calling them the same names you'd expect: racist, transphobic, whatever. But in fact, what I've discovered over the last year of coming back to Ireland and studying the case is Irish who are concerned about a mass immigration that was never voted for. The Irish never chose this. It was imposed upon Ireland by the NGOs. It was imposed upon this place by business deals, local hoteliers who got million-dollar contracts to house so-called refugees, generally fake refugees. We'll keep marching down the streets, and we'll keep you posted throughout the day. Follow along at migrantreports.com.
Ireland's been destroyed by migration, and we're here to put an end to this. It's absolutely disgraceful. Europe is getting destroyed. Every country in Europe is destroyed. Sweden, Belgium, Germany, everywhere. Terrorist attacks. The Irish people can't get homes, they can't get hospital beds. This has to come to an end.
They're looking after migrants instead of their Irish. It's disgusting.
Today is a big day for Irish people, Irish nationalists. We're here to make a peaceful protest.
And let's get it out there. Nationalism is not racism.
And fair play to every Irish man and Irish woman that's here to stand up for the Irish people. Because look, down the road there, boys, in 1916, boys, the men of Ireland died for the freedom of Ireland. And we're here today, boys, walking their footsteps to bring Ireland back to the way it is, man, because we're losing our culture, our history.
This is not about immigrants, it's not about racists.
100%.
It's about the Irish national people fighting against the government.
Coolock is a neighborhood in Dublin where they plan to put in at least 500 military-aged migrant men in a former paint factory right in the middle of a community. And the locals, tried to shut it down, so the government put up those large concrete blocks. I visited there many times. I thought there was no chance the people would win, but the people won. How did you do it?
People power. Not backing down. Keep speaking your truth and stay united.
I have to tell you, I never thought you could do it. I thought the government was so invested in having Coolock as a massive plantation.
They didn't realise the fight Coolock had in their bellies.
I didn't either, and I was sympathetic, but I thought this is a doomed mission.
We're getting there. Rome wasn't built in a day. We're getting there.
It's absolutely disgraceful, and any man that agrees with this is stupid. Absolutely weak, feminized, useless fools.
But why do they do it? Why? Why are they selling out their own country?
Listen, I could get into it, but I'm not going to, because there's certain things here. A lot of people here would know why.
Approximately 10,000 Irish marching through the heart of Dublin, united not by any political party, because indeed no political parties support them, but united by the idea that Ireland ought to be Irish, and that the mass immigration that is de-Irishing the country does not have their approval. There are no establishment politicians who are here, and any establishment media who are here are coming to bury, not to praise. Rebel News is a citizen journalism organization, and so we're here, and I've seen a few other citizen journalists doing the same thing. It'll be interesting to see how much coverage the mainstream media gives to the Antifa protesters who are expected along the way. My guess is if last year is anything to go by, there'll be a few dozen of them, perhaps 0.1% the size of those against mass immigration, but I bet you the mainstream media will give them loving and lavish coverage. Just as I predicted, there's going to be a few dozen, maybe 100 Antifa counter-protesters, but they're few in number, and unlike the anti-migration protesters, they're funded to be here by NGOs. Now there's a wall of guard-eye, that's what they call the police, separating the protesters from the Antifa. Lincoln, what did I say to you? I said there won't be any Irish flags amongst the counter-protesters, and indeed, I cannot see a single Irish flag there. Oh, I see one. I see a single Irish flag. We're moving along, mate. We're moving along. Jesus was a refugee, they say. In fact, he was not. He was going to take a government census. That's why he was on the move. Oh, wouldn't you know it? There it is. There's a hammer and sickle flag. They don't have a lot of Irish flags, but boy, Rebel News is coming along. We're keeping good. I see the trans flag. I see the Antifa flag. I see the hammer and sickle flag. I see a couple more Palestinian flags. I've seen 2 Irish flags. I've seen the hammer and sickle, and I've seen about 5 Hamas Palestinian flags. That tells you all you need to know. Do you see that says Sinn Féin, stand against racism? What's so interesting is Sinn Féin is a nationalist party. They're the party that in the past was politically linked to the IRA, which believed in kicking out the Irish. I do not understand, and I cannot understand how the political party Sinn Féin can be for open borders now.
We've obviously just passed by all the paid agitators there from the government NGOs. I know you have this problem in the US and Canada as well. We're just here to represent our country, and this protest is not against immigrants. You know, if I was from another country and I saw a golden basket of eggs in a country like Ireland, I'd come here too. You know, but we're here to represent the Irish people. You need to look after the Irish people first.
They died for your freedom, don't throw it away. Why are nationalists like Sinn Féin for open borders today? I don't understand.
Well, Sinn Féin spent 30 years fighting to get the British out of Ireland.
So why are they letting everyone else in?
Well, I don't know. You'll have to ask Sinn Féin that.
We're at the official front of the parade. There are some folks up ahead, but the Irish Piper is setting the tone. I see some cameras here that look like from the mainstream media. It'll be interesting to compare how they cover this to how we cover it.
The government here, like many Western governments, only listen to the NGOs. They don't listen to the people, and the NGOs, who are all woke liberals. And you'll be surprised to know that in this small country of 5.5 million people, we spend 6.5 billion on NGOs, and we have 33,000 of them. And if you look at the counter-protest down at the GPO by people with pink hair, there's someone going past now with pink hair, who led by a man who doesn't know whether his young child born a couple of years ago is a boy or a girl.
Well, would you look at that? In the heart of a city, which you might normally consider to be a left-wing place, people are leaning out of their windows, flying the Irish flag. And I should tell you that flying the Irish flag is a very political move, just like
Ireland is for the Irish. This government doesn't care for our own people. They care for the other people.
And why do they do that? I don't understand.
See, the people at the top don't understand what the people at the bottom feel, because we're treated like bottom feeders.
But tell me why. That's what I can't figure out. Why are they doing that? Why would you declare war on your own people?
Why would they let unvetted males into the country?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out why.
Why would they not house their own people?
How old are you?
19. I'm trying to set up a business here in Ireland. There's nothing going for me. Yeah. I can't even claim that. I can't do nothing. There's nothing here for me.
I don't know if you can hear me over the noise of the crowd. I am standing in the heart of Dublin. We're literally right at the front, where in a number of minutes, a variety of speakers will address the crowd.
People are struggling with their bills, their rents, their mortgages. People can't get by in this country anymore. And we've had enough of it, and the people in Leicester House are just not listening.
What's our vision for Ireland? It's an Ireland reborn, an Ireland united, and an Ireland that is free.
So how many migrants have been put in your town?
In my town, there's a lot now. The numbers seem to be suppressed in every town, and you'll never know the true figure. But just even taking a walk out around the town.
So they're putting rental housing. I know that they're putting hotels quite often.
Yes.
Are they putting rental housing?
Yeah. So in my town, there's about 3 or 4 hotels, and at the moment now we've only one. With the last 2 or 3 years, we've only one hotel, and at that's majorly overpriced. But then on the rental side of things as well. The prices of rent to rent accommodation are up through the roof.
Give me an update on how today went from your point of view.
Absolutely amazing. You see, there was thousands upon thousands of people here today, and he came out in commemoration of the 1916 heroes and to let people know how upset they are with the way our country is being ran. The Irish people have had enough, We've too many people on hospital trolleys waiting to see people. We've kids that can't get special needs school places. We've families in emergency accommodation. So the people are out to let that be heard. It's time to look after our own people, Ezra. The fact of the matter is, we've took in thousands upon thousands of immigrants. Mainly illegal, a lot of illegal immigrants. And we don't have the resources to look after them.
Pope Francis must be looking down on us today and gave us the good weather, because it's been raining here all week. And, I think today exceeded our greatest expectations. We had a totally peaceful rally, no arrests, no violence. We could have done with a better sound system, but apart from that, it was perfect.
I don't know if we'll ever know the actual turnout, because the mainstream media despises these people and they'll do their best to call it a small crowd. Wouldn't surprise me if RTE, that's the state broadcaster here in Ireland, says it was hundreds of people. I can assure you it was much more than that. Everyone here was from different walks of life. Many people had driven in from all over Ireland. They told me some of the faraway counties from which they came. A number of people said it was the first or the second time they had ever come to a political event. Whereas that Rentham mob, Antifa protesters, you can just tell that they just show up and are given the placard of the day. They didn't really know why they were there. I enjoyed the visit, and we were able to jam this in as we were coming home from the Isle of Man. As you know, we were there yesterday doing an investigation into Mark Carney's tax evasion, so you have to go through Dublin to get to the Isle of Man. So we're on our way home. We'll be home in a number of hours. But it's a delight to see how Rebel News is received here too. This is the second march we've been to in Dublin, and we've been to other places. Sometimes people say, Ezra, why do you go to Ireland? Why do you go to the UK? Why are you interested in those things? Well, I'm interested in the world, but I also see how immigration is being done in the UK, in Ireland, in France, in the Netherlands. And I see in Ireland the best and the worst of it. In Ireland, the government has an outrageous approach that the patriotic side nicknames plantations, where they suddenly dump hundreds or thousands even of migrants in a neighborhood, completely overwhelming it, with no legal or political process whatsoever. I told you the story of the little village of Dundrum, which is 200 Irish citizens, and then suddenly 240 military-aged migrant men were dumped in the town, immediately rendering the Irish a minority in their own village. None of that with the approval or even the information of the locals. It's such an astonishing, abusive approach to immigration. That's extreme. But on the other side, I haven't seen this kind of peaceful political pushback anywhere else in the world either. If you think our journalism was valuable, please go to migrantreports.com and chip in a few euros or dollars, whatever you have. As you know, unlike RTE and unlike CBC, we get no government money, so we rely on the crowdfunding support of our viewers. Until next time, on behalf of all of us here at Rebel News, goodbye, and keep fighting for freedom. I'm in Ireland covering the massive march against mass immigration. For all of my updates and reports, go to migrantreports.com.